Sports Office taking on a UFC flavor this time, and we're talking to Carlos Condit, who you happen to know because this guy has been a champion and he's represented Albuquerque, New Mexico very well in the sport, and getting ready to get back in with Robbie Lawler, that is, and talk about that. How's training camp been going?
It's good. You know, I'm kind of in a pre-camp phase right now. I'm not really hitting it too hard, but I'm feeling great.
And the fight being changed, the date being changed. I mean, when that came down, were you guys like, oh man, because you get up for a fight, and then for the date to get changed, did that have was it far enough ahead where it didn't feel like that, or what was that like?
Well, I had started camp, so we were starting to get some momentum, with training, but ultimately, I think it worked out for the better. It gives me more time to train, more time to prepare, and and that's the nature of the sport. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Your last time you were out there with Thiago, and man, you just you hammered him. What turned in that? I mean, what happened in that? Where you were just so prepared, huh?
I'd been since the injury that I had. I had 14 months to prepare, and I really got to work on stuff and grow as a fighter and build my skills instead of training for an opponent, which I think helped quite a bit. Stepped into that fight, and I was able to showcase some of those things that we'd been working on.
So the knee feels 100%.
The knee feels great. Yeah, they did a great job. I had a great surgeon, and yeah, I'm good to go. I don't even notice it.
Well, you talked about being in there and working on stuff for the 14 months, getting ready for him, working on you. Did that change kind of like your perspective on getting ready for like, hey, I found something here. The light came on, like maybe I should do this all the time, because it seemed like, I mean, that fight was over. Like they started, it was done.
I was just able to improve. Like I said, I was able to improve as a martial artist myself instead of just working a specific game plan, which I think can kind of make you plateau, and you're not necessarily getting better. You're just kind of you're staying the same. So this gave me the opportunity to work on a lot of things, improve some different skills, and then also just with regards to my entire training camp, got to train smart. Really, I mean, I've always taken care of myself, but the injury showed me that, I mean, if I'm injured and my body's not doing well, then I'm out. I can't fight at all.
Right, and so with all that in mind, and then as far as the evolution of where you work out at Jackson's and Wink, how much does that whole thing help? Where you got the academy now, and you got all these fighters from all over the world, and they could live there. John Dodson said an interesting thing to me. He's just like, hey, these guys are pushing me because if I'm out at my house just doing something, they live there. They might be down there getting some more. They're getting ahead of me now. That was Diego Sanchez who said that. And so you feel like that, like the same thing, like, hey, I got to always be up sharp on my game, and these guys are making me better.
One thing that I like about having people come from all over the world is I get a lot of different looks. I get to see a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And, in MMA, one striker isn't the same as the next, isn't the same as the next. There's a lot of different styles, a lot of different, variations. And so, I have the ability to see or pick somebody who is maybe like my upcoming opponent. And we have so many different people to choose from. Okay, hey, we need to get this guy because he's more, say Robbie Lawler style than your other guy, and we have just a large variety to choose from, and there's a great atmosphere right now. People are coming here because they're in pursuit of their dreams, and they're working really hard. Everybody, I mean, they're not just waking up and going to the gym next door. They're traveling from all over the world to come here, and I think it takes a certain kind of dedication, a certain and a certain kind of mindset to do that.
And so how much does that push you guys? Because not only when they come, like you said, they're following a dream. And, when you reach the top and you reach a certain level and you experience all the success, your hunger may not be as it was when you were down on the bottom trying to get there. So now you got all these people intermingling with you guys who are trying to get where you've been. How much does that help you guys, that hunger, bringing that hunger back in?
I think it helps quite a bit. I'm able to, see where I was. It reminds me. Hey, what? I used to be that guy living. I was living in the gym myself at one point, and So I mean, it reminds me where I came from for sure.
And does this, as you evolve in the sport, does it get like any other sport, like when you get older, as you're getting older, you get wiser, and some of the things that you may have done when you were younger, you don't need to do those things. You got a trick that you get some of that too? Or?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm not sparring as much as I used to. I know how to fight. I have 40 plus professional fights in my career. I know how to do it. So, taking less damage in the gym, really working on skills, and instead of I like to fight. So I get the opportunity to go in there and fight every day. That's cool, but it's not necessarily beneficial to my the longevity of my career. So I've realized that there's other ways to get that training in without going in there and fighting another guy was very dangerous and risking injury and potentially taking time off of my career.
Speaking of injury, that's what delayed your fight, Lawler getting the injury. As you get ready for that fight, what do you have to do to be successful against him?
Fight against Lawler, I'm definitely going to have to use my range to my advantage. He's an incredibly talented boxer, and if I stay in that range with him, I can be in a lot of trouble. I think that's what happened with Rory McDonald. I don't know if you saw that fight, but Rory kind of stood right in that boxing range with him, and he paid for it. So I need to use my reach and stay out of that range, or use my up close kind of Muay Thai knee elbow striking clinch distance, and that's where I feel like I have the advantage.
You got John Jones in your camp. You you talk about elbows and stuff like that. I'm thinking about him right away. He's back. He's out in the community working his way back. How's he doing?
Well, John's back in the gym, and I'm happy to see that. He's an inspiration as a fighter, and it's good to see him back doing what he's best at.
And as far as on the fight game, good teacher?
Yeah, another great thing about training with all these different guys is there's a collaboration. We're in there and we're really just it's kind of a laboratory. We're trying to develop new things, and we're taking each other's experience and each other's backgrounds and seeing how we can maybe incorporate that into our abilities or our game plan or whatever it is. So there's definitely a collaborative atmosphere over there, and John is a big part of that.
And have you noticed it when you I would say your last fight, you probably used some of it because that was crazy. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed it? Have you really noticed it? Man, this is making us stronger together.
Yeah, definitely. John is a guy that's really utilized the elbows in devastating fashion, and it's because of his reach, and he's kind of got the distancing and the range down while using his elbows, which is the tricky part of it. Yeah. Is really being close enough or being in range to use the elbows, because it's a different range than throwing punches, and so. And we train with the same coaches, so the same people who are working with him on that are working with me on that, and that's what you're seeing.
Holly Holm got the big fight with Ronda Rousey, and all these people who don't know anything about fighting or who don't know anything about Holly, kind of reminds me of a game where you got somebody, like a football or basketball game. It's one team, they've been getting all the accolades. Nobody knows about this other team, and they just automatically take the side of the big star. Mm-hmm. I think people are going to be surprised by Holly's tough. Mm-hmm. Holly has a shot in this fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, and I think on a couple of different reasons, I think that she's going to do better than people thought. One, she's an incredible athlete. I think Ronda Rousey she out athletes a lot of these girls that she's fighting. They're just not on the same athletic level as her. Holly Holm, it's a different story. She is she's a thoroughbred. She's an incredible athlete. She's strong, she's fast, she's got great endurance, she's powerful. I think also her style is going to be tricky for Ronda to deal with. Ronda Rousey's fought good strikers in the past, but they're always very straightforward, get-in-your-face type strikers. Yeah. And that falls right into Ronda Rousey's game, because she just wants to get her hands on you, and she's an incredible grappler, and then she arm bars you and you're done. Yeah. Holly is a very movement-oriented striker. She sticks and she moves. She stays away, and especially since she's got into MMA, she's really been training a lot on avoiding takedowns and avoiding the clinch. Strike, 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 break the clinch, get away, move, cut angles, strike, 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 and I think that's going to play to her advantage.
And I think her strength too, man, because like in her last fight she had, the one girl jumped up on her and tried to bring her down, and Holly like just took her off and just basically just threw her on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, because I think she's stronger than what people know.
Oh yeah, she like I said, she's an incredible athlete. So she's the underdog. Holly's the underdog without a doubt. But I wouldn't count her out.
Okay. And then as far as you and your opponent coming up, as I asked you what you had to do to be successful against them. When was the last time you had a fight like this where you had plenty of time to get ready? Before, I know you had time with Alves too, but you were coming back from a knee injury. Now you're healthy and you had all this extra time because of his injury. Mm-hmm. Does that play to your advantage, you think?
I think it does. Fighting in November would have been a little bit short notice when they told me about the fight and said it was in November. I was like, oh man, that's right around the corner. So this just gives me a little bit more time, allows us to do our homework, and really prepare for the type of fighter that Robbie is. Yeah. He presents some different challenges. He's powerful. He's a great striker, a great boxer. He's also a southpaw, which is something else to deal with. I honestly I think it worked out better this way.
Okay. And last thing for me is. You guys are going to Australia, man. Now you're just going to Vegas. Where you're like, oh man, talk about that.
I love fighting in Vegas. Vegas is like my backyard. I've never lost in Las Vegas. I've always done really well. I feel like there's a certain energy and atmosphere in each different place that I go fight, and I love the energy in Vegas. Plus, it's right around the corner. I'm gonna have a lot of people from Albuquerque going. A lot of support there. I mean, it's it's less than an hour flight from Albuquerque, so I'm sure there'll be, the Albuquerque fans will be out in force, and I'm just excited to get out there, compete, do my thing, and get that belt and bring it back to Albuquerque.
You gotta love the Albuquerque fans, man. They just, dude, they represent, don't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're, they're proud. We're proud of where we're from, and they're
town,
and they're proud of their fighters, and it's awesome.
All right, Carlos Condit, you get to see him fight real soon here against Robbie Lawler. That's coming up. I'm Van Tate. Robert Pugsley behind the camera. We'll see you next time.